If you want to make real, lasting change this month, stick around. Because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the one invisible habit that quietly blocks your progress, and a simple, powerful way to beat it, starting today. This isn't about willpower, it's about understanding a hidden pattern. Hit the like button if you're ready for more focused mindset videos, and be sure to watch to the end for a 7-day micro-challenge designed to lock this new skill in for good. This is part of the Invisible Habits series. There are the habits people recognize, like biting their nails or hitting snooze. And then, there are the habits they live with for years, the ones that operate beneath the surface. Not because they choose to, but because they've never seen the pattern clearly enough to break it. Many people know something isn't working. They feel it as a quiet frustration. They see it in the goals that remain just out of reach. But despite their best intentions, change never fully happens. It's not because they don't want to change. It's because of a deeper, more fundamental habit. A habit that quietly prevents any meaningful change from ever taking place. That habit is avoiding discomfort at the moment of change. Think about it. Real change almost always feels uncomfortable at the beginning. It requires effort, uncertainty, and adjustment. It demands we step into the unknown. And our mind, wired for efficiency and safety, naturally resists that. So instead of pushing through that initial friction, it retreats to what feels familiar and safe. Even if that familiar place is one of stagnation and isn't actually working. This creates a powerful, self-reinforcing cycle. You recognize the problem. You consider making a change. You feel the first wave of discomfort, and you retreat to the same old pattern. Over time, this cycle becomes so automatic, you don't even notice it's happening. You begin to believe that change is just too difficult, or that maybe it's not the right time. But the truth is much simpler, and much more empowering. Discomfort is not a signal to stop. It is a necessary part of change. It's the price of admission for growth. In fact, the moment that discomfort appears is often the exact moment that real change finally begins. But if that critical moment is consistently avoided, the old pattern continues, and the cycle remains unbroken. This is precisely why so many habits, resolutions, and goals remain unfulfilled. Not because they are impossible to change, but because the process is interrupted at the most crucial point, the very beginning. Another insidious effect of this habit is how it shapes your belief about yourself. Repeated attempts that stop at the first sign of discomfort create a narrative of failure and doubt. You begin to think, maybe I just can't change this, or I don't have enough discipline. But the attempt wasn't incomplete because of a lack of ability or willpower. It was incomplete simply because the feeling of discomfort was misinterpreted as a stop sign. Once this is truly understood, something profound shifts. You stop expecting change to feel comfortable at the beginning. Instead, you begin to expect resistance. You anticipate it. And when that resistance inevitably appears, you recognize it not as a threat, but as a landmark, a clear sign that you are on the right path. It's no longer a reason to stop. It's confirmation that you've started. So here's how to practice it. Use micro reps of discomfort. Aim for just 20 to 60 seconds of doing the thing you typically avoid. Start with one single rep. Set a timer, breathe slowly, and just stay with the feeling until the timer ends. That's it. Use the 2-minute gate. If you feel resistance to starting a task, commit to doing just 2 minutes. Often, starting is the hardest part. Keep a friction log. When you feel the urge to quit, note the exact moment, what you feel, and what you'll try differently next time. This turns avoidance into data. And set environment nudges. Put your sneakers by the door. Leave the draft email open. Place the guitar on a stand, not hidden in its case. Make the start easier. For fitness, just commit to the warm-up. That's the only goal. If you feel discomfort and want to stop, that's your indicator that you've successfully started. See it as a green light, not a red one. In conversation, just make the first sentence. Don't aim to have the perfect talk, simply aim to begin. In your career, send the rough draft. Don't wait for perfection. When the underlying pattern is avoidance, momentum is far more valuable than a flawless, unsent document. For learning, just finish one micro lesson. Your job is to stack small wins by moving through discomfort, not to master everything at once. Because it's this consistency through discomfort that forges new neural pathways. And these new patterns are what create lasting change. This is how these invisible habits operate. They don't stop change directly with a wall of force. They just interrupt it, quietly, at the very moment it begins. But once you see that interruption clearly, you can approach change with a completely different strategy. So here is your 7-day discomfort micro-challenge. Pick one small habit you've been delaying. For 7 days, do just one micro-rep daily. Use a timer. Track the exact moment resistance hits in your friction log. Then, just breathe through it for 2 minutes and note what helped you stay. This episode is part of the Invisible Habits series, where we explore the quiet, automatic patterns that shape our lives without most people ever noticing. If this resonated with you, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. We're building a library of practical mindset tools to help you take control. And in the comments below, share one area where you've noticed yourself stopping at that first point of discomfort. Acknowledging it is the first step. Sometimes that exact moment of resistance is where your greatest change begins.